So I have another question about Conte. There's always question of him not being successful in European competitions, both in Juve and Chelsea. He couldn't manage to meet fans' expectations, and it happened again this season in Inter against Barcelona. Why do you think is that? Is that a thing, or is it just accidents?
So I think there is something to it, but a couple of caveats. I think a lot of people forget that Conte's first season in the Champions League at Juve was actually quite good. They defeated Chelsea in the group substantially, made it to the quarterfinals, lost to Bayern, who ended up winning the treble, the best Bayern of the decade by far. That Juve was not very strong. I mean, they lost pretty decisively to Bayern, but I thought that Conte's first year in the Champions League was above average. Now, a lot of people remember, rightfully so, the disaster against Galatasaray. I think even more than that, once they went to the Europa League and the final was in Turin at Juventus Stadium, they had a great opportunity to win that trophy. Now, it's not the Champions League, but still, I think for Conte it would have been a really nice win. At Chelsea, didn't do well in the Champions League. So, and at Inter this year now, I never thought Inter cared about the Champions League this season. I never did. I think they were all in on the Scudetto. So this year, I'm not going to really hold against them. So when I look, it's 4 years in the Champions League. One was good. One they punted. The other two, not good. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say it's not great. Now, at the same time, he was great at the Euro with Italy. I don't think that can be underestimated. I think, and I'm a huge fan of Conte as a manager, as his first season at Juve is his apex, and winning with Chelsea the first year was amazing. But right there with it is what he did with Italy in that Euro. So that makes me think that maybe he can be a good tournament coach. Now, in the Champions League specifically, I do think that 3-5-2 defense doesn't really work. We saw Juve, try to do it, and they did okay with some time with it. But I think you need to play a more free-flowing offense. I think the big test for Conte in the Champions League, I really want to see what he does next season. Because Inter, whether they win the Scudetto or not, next year, they're going to have the resources to build a squad that allows them to compete on both competitions. So I'll say this. If next year Inter doesn't do well in the Champions League, then we can definitely write off Conte as a bad Champions League manager.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.